Can you imagine a country where US dollars are used to buy fried chicken on street corners, but anyone without African blood is strictly forbidden from becoming a citizen? A place that boasts the second largest commercial fleet in the world, yet has a luxurious 5-star hotel that now serves as a shelter for the homeless? Liberia is a land of paradoxes. Are you ready to uncover 15 mind-blowing facts and taboos that make Liberia the quirkiest little America in Africa? Number 15. The most unusual African-American nation in the world. Can you believe that in the middle of Africa, there's a country with such a strong American influence? Welcome to Liberia, where people use US dollars to buy fried chicken, call each other Washington, Quincy, or Jefferson, live in towns named Virginia or Maryland, and still measure height in feet instead of meters. The Liberian flag has 11 red and white stripes, only different from the US flag by having 1 star instead of 50. And the national anthem was written by an American composer with a classic 19th century American melody. It's not just the culture. Liberia's legal system, constitution, and units of measurement are all copied from early American models. Liberia is one of only 3 countries in the world, along with the US and Myanmar, that still use the imperial system. Even their currency. They don't have a central bank issuing their own money, but use both the Liberian dollar and the US dollar. The US dollar is more popular because it's stable, easy to use, and feels modern. Why does an African country resemble America so much? It all goes back to Liberia's unique history. In 1822, it was established by freed African Americans who had been slaves, sent back to Africa to find their homeland. They brought everything American, good and bad, and built a country in the image of their old home, so much so that many have called Liberia Little America in West Africa. But beneath that familiar surface lie incredible contradictions. A nation founded by people once denied equality. A country that wanted to escape America's pain, yet copied every American detail. Liberia has American-style freedom, but also carries historic wounds that have never healed. What do you think about Liberia? If you lived here, would it feel familiar, like coming home? Or would you feel lost between 2 worlds? Share your thoughts in the comments. Number 14. A 5-star hotel is now home to the homeless. In downtown Monrovia, Liberia, stands a towering building under the dusty, sunny sky. Ducor Palace Hotel, once the symbol of the modern West African dream. When it opened in 1960, it was West Africa's first 5-star hotel, and quickly became one of the continent's most luxurious spots. With 106 rooms, a seaside pool, a fancy French restaurant, and a rooftop bar for sunset views. Located atop Mamba Point, the hotel boasted stunning views of the Atlantic Ocean and Monrovia's port. Famous guests included Haile Selassie of Ethiopia, Idi Amin of Uganda, and top French leaders. But then, the dream collapsed. When Liberia's civil war broke out in the late 1980s, Monrovia plunged into chaos. Furniture was stripped, everything was looted, electricity and water were cut. By 1989, the hotel closed for good and has been abandoned ever since. Today, the Ducor Hotel is home to the homeless, orphans, and refugees. Rooms that once overlooked the Atlantic now hold only tattered blankets, campfires, and sighs in the night. What was once a paradise for the elite is now a shelter for nameless lives. For over 30 years, Liberia's government has promised to restore the hotel, even signing a deal with Libyan investors in 2008. But the project was canceled after Gaddafi was overthrown. Number 13. The steel roses of Liberia's streets. On the dusty, chaotic, pothole-filled streets of Monrovia, the sight of women in bright pink jackets and helmets zipping around on old motorbikes has become an essential part of the city's landscape. They are the Pink Panthers, the first and only all-female motorcycle taxi team in Liberia, where women riding bikes among men was once considered improper. founded in 2015 by 10 single mothers, widows, or survivors of domestic violence. The Pink Panthers aren't just earning a living, they're making a bold, rebellious statement. In a society where women are often seen as weak or domestic, these women chose a dangerous path, weaving through traffic jams, facing robberies, and ignoring gossip just to prove we can live, earn money, and protect ourselves. The pink jackets aren't for show. They're a badge of identity, a direct challenge to stereotypes. We are women, and we won't be pushed around. Once, a group member chased a thief all the way to a local market and took him down with her helmet. While many male drivers avoid trouble, they act as two-wheeled bodyguards ready to drive at night, pick up kids, or help the elderly cross the road. Their income isn't high, but they have the community's respect. In a society full of gender barriers, these steel roses aren't just driving. They're breaking new ground and redefining what it means to be a strong woman in Africa. Number 12. 1/3 of marriages are polygamous. In Liberia, a country closely tied to the West using US dollars and with an American-style constitution, polygamy is accepted. In fact, 1 in 3 marriages in Liberia is polygamous, meaning for every 3 husbands, one has 2 or more wives. However, Liberia has 2 parallel legal systems, modern law and customary law. Modern law, inspired by the U.S. system, only recognizes monogamous marriages. But customary law, which governs the lives of nearly 60% of rural people, allows men to have up to 4 wives, and traditional wedding ceremonies are legally binding. These weddings require no paperwork, no court registration, just a dowry, maybe a goat or some palm wine, and family approval. That's it. Sound like love freedom? Not really. For women, especially those who aren't the first wife, polygamous marriage is often a legal trap. When the husband dies, which happens often in a society with an average life expectancy of just 63, widows can lose everything, since they lack official marriage certificates and aren't recognized as heirs. Many are even forced to marry the husband's brother, a tradition called levirate. Number 11. The real Monkey Kingdom exists in Liberia. In 1974, the Planet of the Apes movie shocked the world with visions of apes ruling Earth. But while Hollywood was imagining, in Liberia, a small West African country, a real ape planet was quietly forming in the rainforest. Not far from Monrovia is a place locals call Monkey Island, a true chimpanzee kingdom, uninhabited by humans, no tourist reserve, and no human laws. The island is home to over 60 chimpanzees, once used in decades-long medical experiments funded by American organizations. When the project ended in the early 2000s, researchers faced a tough question. What to do with chimps that couldn't return to the wild or live with humans? The answer: isolation. Monkey Island became their permanent home. They're provided daily food from the mainland, get regular health checkups, and live entirely by their own rules. But it's not just an animal welfare story. Villagers in nearby Marshall worry about angry chimps. Some believe they could harm people, making Monkey Island infamous as a beast island, though there's no official proof of attacks. Brave tourists can visit by renting a small canoe for $5 to $10, but only circle the island. No one is allowed ashore. If you get too close, the chimps may throw mangoes and branches at your boat as a warning. Number 10. Liberia's airlines are banned from Europe. You might not know that Liberia was once firmly on the EU's blacklist, alongside countries with the world's worst aviation safety records, like Afghanistan, Kyrgyzstan, Sierra Leone, and Sudan. The reason? Liberian registered planes were considered high accident risks, lacking proper inspections, not meeting technical standards, and especially being used for flags of convenience registrations. As a result, in the 2000s, the EU officially banned all Liberian registered aircraft from landing in its territory. Ironically, by 2006, Liberia Airways, the country's last national airline, went bankrupt. Since then, the entire country has had no legally operating airline. What does that mean? If you're Liberian, you can't board a plane bearing your national flag, and there's no airline representing your country to the world. You have to fly with foreign airlines, with layovers and detours. Want to get to Monrovia from Europe? Get ready to fly through Morocco, stop in Casablanca, and continue? No direct flights, no local carriers. And the aviation woes don't stop there. The Liberian passport is also among the weakest globally, granting visa-free access to only about 40 countries, mostly in West Africa. After bloody civil wars and waves of illegal migration, many countries have tightened visa requirements for Liberians, including Canada, Australia, and Switzerland, once ideal destinations, now much harder to reach. Number 9. Some of Africa's cleanest cities are in Liberia. When we think of the world's cleanest air, we imagine peaceful fields in New Zealand, Swiss mountains, or Australia's cool beaches. But there's a name that surprises everyone. Liberia, recently ranked by the World Health Organization among the top 10 countries with the cleanest air. In its latest report, WHO measured air quality in 1,622 urban areas across 92 countries. The results: Australia led, followed by Brunei, New Zealand, and notably Liberia, which beat out major powers like Spain, Japan, the US, and the UK for the 10th spot. What a pleasant surprise. In Liberia, you don't have to escape the city to breathe easy. Even in urban areas like Monrovia and Buchanan, fine particle pollution is extremely low, lower than many European capitals. Morning air in Monrovia carries the cool scent of the ocean and forests, while Buchanan, a coastal port city, is called the ocean lung, with fresh, clean sea breezes untouched by industry. Liberia lacks large industrial zones, has few vehicles, a low population density, and over 40% of its land is still covered by rainforest, all combining to create a pure ecosystem that modern cities long to restore. In some suburbs, you'll hear birds more than engines, and feel the forest scent on your skin after a short rain. Number 8. The only country that bans citizenship based on bloodline. Think racial discrimination is a thing of the past? In Liberia, the opposite is shockingly true. While the world embraces globalization and integration, Article 27 of Liberia's Constitution, enacted in 1986, still bans anyone without African ancestry from becoming a citizen or owning land, even if they've lived there for decades, married locals, or invested millions. This isn't buried in some obscure legal text. It's a racial barrier written right into the Constitution, enforced for nearly 40 years. If you're a foreigner without African roots, you can only lease land, not own it, even if you build factories, schools, or contribute to the economy. And citizenship? Never, unless your ancestors are from Africa. This creates a deep paradox. Liberia, a country founded as a refuge for people escaping discrimination, has become one of the world's few nations that closes its constitutional doors to those without shared bloodlines. Many business people from Asia, the Middle East, and Europe must sign long-term land leases, unable to buy property as in other countries. As the world opens up residency, investment, and citizenship, this law in Liberia is a legal wall going against history. Number 7. Kickball is a women-only sport. In Liberia, there's a unique sport the world barely knows: kickball, or baseball with your feet. No bats, no gloves, no men, just a rubber ball, an open field, and a group of women ready to kick away stereotypes. Kickball was created in the 1960s by Cherry Jackson, an American volunteer teaching at a girls' school in Monrovia. What's special is that kickball is almost exclusively for Liberian women. Across the country, you'll see kickball games in parks, schoolyards, even empty lots. For many girls, it's more than a game. It's a moment of unity, a childhood memory, a symbol of female strength. Liberia now plans to expand kickball to neighboring countries and may even allow men to join, a big step toward professionalizing the sport. But challenges remain: lack of funding, fields, and especially recognition for women's sports in a region where female athletes rarely get respect as serious professionals. Number 6. Some women once tried being men by wearing suits to job hunt. In some places, women fight for equality. In Liberia, some women have had to hide their gender just to apply for a job. In one documented case, a Liberian woman, desperate after repeated rejections for a driver's job, dressed in a man's suit, used a fake name, and disguised herself as a man to try her luck. The result? She got hired immediately. No one suspected a thing until her gentle voice gave her away and coworkers started asking questions. As unbelievable as it sounds, this is a true story and not a joke. It reflects the harsh reality in many parts of Liberia, where the idea that women are weak still runs deep in jobs like driving, engineering, security, or construction. This inequality doesn't just come from tradition, it's built into hiring. From gender-biased job ads to suspicious looks when women apply for men's work. For many, especially single mothers or war survivors, finding a job isn't just tough. It can mean giving up their identity. Number 5. Liberia has the world's second largest commercial fleet. Did you know? Nearly 1 in 8 ships worldwide flies the flag of a poor West African country. Not the US, not China, Liberia. It sounds crazy, but Liberia, a small West African nation, has the world's second largest commercial fleet just behind Panama. About 12% of all ships globally are registered under Liberia's flag, even though most have never docked in Monrovia or hired Liberian crew. Why? It's all about flags of convenience, a system allowing ship owners from the US, Greece, Japan, or China to dodge strict tax, labor, insurance, and safety laws by registering in Liberia. The Liberian government is known for its loose maritime laws, with easy standards for wages, safety, and sailors' rights. According to the Liberian Registry, run by an American company, this model is praised as a symbol of safe and secure shipping worldwide. But reality is different. Liberia earns little real profit from over 4,000 ships flying its flag, while most registration fees go to foreign companies. More importantly, ship registration fees make up nearly 25% of the nation's tax revenue, making it a financial lifeline that's hard to give up. Former President Charles Taylor was even accused of funneling some registration money into shady or illegal projects. Number 4. Don't call elders by their first names. In Liberian culture, respect for elders is no joke. Liberians believe titles show respect, and skipping polite prefixes is seen as disrespecting your elders. You might call a market lady Ma Martha, an older driver, Uncle Sam, and even strangers expect you to use a respectful title with their name. In the workplace or with officials, using the wrong form of address can make you look rude or culturally ignorant. Liberia may be an English-speaking country, but don't assume social rules are as relaxed as in the West. Here, politeness is the foundation of community life. So if you visit Monrovia or peaceful seaside villages, remember, just add Mr. or Ma before a name, and you'll see a welcoming smile right away. Number 3. Liberia's products secretly reach the world. You won't easily find Made in Liberia labels at Walmart or IKEA, but don't be fooled by the silence. Liberia, a small West African nation, is quietly woven into the global economy, unseen but powerful. Since the early 20th century, Liberia's giant rubber plantations, especially those run by Firestone, have supplied raw materials to the global tire industry. Countless trucks, cars, and even airplanes worldwide have run on rubber tapped from Liberian land, even though the country's name never appears on the tires. Just as quietly, Liberian timber, once over-harvested during Civil War, now recovering under sustainable forestry programs, has helped build homes, floors, and beams from Europe to the Middle East. Strong structures few realize may have started in a country invisible on the industrial map. Even your morning coffee might have a touch of Liberia. The Liberica coffee variety, native to Liberia, is increasingly popular in Southeast Asia for its bold, smoky flavor and high caffeine. Though little known, Liberica is quietly making its mark in specialty coffee scenes in the Philippines, Vietnam, and Malaysia. Number 2. A hidden surfing paradise. When you think of top surfing spots, you probably picture Hawaii, Bali, or Costa Rica. But what if I told you one of the world's most pristine, wild surf beaches is in West Africa, right on Liberia's coast? About 50 miles northwest of Monrovia, the small town of Robertsport sits between rainforest and the Atlantic. Here, you'll find left-breaking waves up to 1,000 feet long, with a naturally curved bay creating perfect surf for both pros and beginners. Surfer magazine once called Robertsport Africa's best secret surf spot, and National Geographic described it as the Hawaii of the 1940s, untouched and pure. But this wild beauty comes with almost no tourism infrastructure, no big hotels, no fancy resorts, even electricity is spotty, and Wi-Fi is as weak as the night waves. That might sound inconvenient, but it's exactly what makes this place a reward for surfers seeking the last remaining paradise. Year-round temperatures range from 80 degrees Fahrenheit to 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Warm sea, golden sand, green forest right by the beach, a rare combo found only in Liberia. And the craziest part? Almost no tourists at all. Liberia isn't ready for mass tourism, but if you crave authenticity, hate commercialization, and want to go where Google has few reviews, Robertsport is the ocean's whisper you shouldn't miss. Number 1. Dual citizenship was banned. Until 2022, Liberia was one of the few countries that absolutely banned dual citizenship. Under the 1986 Constitution, any Liberian who took another nationality automatically lost Liberian citizenship. No trial, no notice. As a result, over 500,000 Liberians living in the US, Canada, Australia, and Europe, though born at home and still sending money back, lost their citizenship, couldn't own land, couldn't vote, and definitely couldn't run for office. In 2022, after years of debate, Liberia relaxed the law, officially allowing dual citizenship, but with strict limits. If you're Liberian and also American, French, or British, you can't run for president, can't be vice president, can't be an ambassador, and can't hold top security or financial posts like Minister of Defense, Finance, or Central Bank Governor. The contradiction is clear. Even as Liberia's current president, George Weah, says the Liberian diaspora is part of our nation's blood, the law still slams the door of power in their faces. We've just explored 15 shocking facts and taboos about Liberia. Which one amazed you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoy this kind of shocking and unique discovery content, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next adventure.